Hello everybody guys, welcome back to my channel. So before starting my new class, I would like to first thank you all who tried their level best to support me, to support my channel. For you guys only, I'm today here presenting my next video. So keep supporting me like this so that I will be encouraged and inspired to do more and more videos like this. Thank you all. Thank you for all your love and support. Thank you. So now I am continuing from the previous class which I had done, that is the life processes chapter of class 10th NCRT. I am continuing from that only. All those points which I have covered, I can revise you, that is the life basic life processes, uh, that all these life processes are the basic maintenance functions which I had told you in the previous class, which the living beings uh, undergo throughout their lifetime. So these are life processes. These are various types which I had pointed out, like for example growth, differentiation, reproduction, movement, responsiveness, etc. So from yesterday's class I am continuing the all those points which I had left behind. So today I will start from growth. I'll start from growth. So what do you mean by growth? I'm zooming in for you. Okay. So what is growth? Growth actually refers to an increase in size. Okay. Growth actually refers to an increase in size. Basically, generally we can tell growth is, generally it is called, growth is the increase in size. Increase in size. But it can occur in either ways. Growth can occur in either ways, either through an increase in the number of cells or through an increase in the size of each individual cell. What does that mean? As for example, suppose here there is a single cell. With the passage of time, or with uh, when we call growth happens, how does it occur? Because there is either increase in the size of this cell, either increase in the size of this cell, or either or increase in the number of the cells. So what does growth mean? Either increase in the number of cells or increase in the size of each individual cell. So that is growth. So in order for growth to occur, it is written here, in order for growth to occur, the anabolic processes must occur at a faster rate than the catabolic process. So I had taught you in the last class what is anabolic process and what is catabolic process. I'm telling you again what is anabolism and what is catabolism. Catabolism is the breaking down of the bigger molecules into the smaller ones, and in this process energy is released. And what is anabolic process? Anabolic processes the making up of the bigger molecules from the simpler ones with the storage of energy, that is anabolism. So in order in case of growth, what does happen? In case of growth, the anabolic process is faster than the catabolic process. I had told you in the last class that anabolic process is constructive in nature. Constructive in nature. So here I told that growth is simply means increase in size, increase in number of cells, and increase in the size of the individual cell. So here increase occurs. So here as increase occurs, that means something is being synthesized. Okay, so in order to get synthesized, the anabolic process has to be definitely faster than the catabolic process, as because catabolic process is destructive in nature. All right, so this is how growth occurs. Okay, so the next one is differentiation. The next one is differentiation. So what is the differentiation? What does differentiation mean? Differentiation means it is first of all a developmental process. Okay, it is a developmental process by which the unspecialized cells change into the specialized cells. Okay, I had told you in the last class that cell is the basic unit of life. Okay, cell is the basic unit, I told you. So I had also told that in case of that point, that organization, I had told you that this group of cells in on the basis of their structure, and function, they are grouped together to form tissues. Okay, so how they convert themselves from cell to tissues, that is called specialization. So that process is called specialization, as because this, as single cells, they were very much unspecialized. They did not have their specific function, they did not have their what they had to do. Okay, so they were unspecialized, they were not specialized in a function. Okay, so as they became tissues, they became specialized. Okay, so that is how differentiation occurs. So it is a developmental process by which the unspecialized cells change into the specialized cells with distinctive structural and functional characteristics. I had told you that when cells get converted into tissues, they are on the basis of their structure and function. So on the basis of their distinctive structure and function, they are characterized as a specific tissue. Okay, so that's how differentiation occur. Through differentiation, the cells develop into tissues and organs. That's what I told you right now. Okay, so the next point is respiration. This point is completed. The next point is respiration. What does respiration mean? It is basically the exchange of gases. Exchange of which gases? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. So there is a difference between breathing and respiration. Okay, which I will definitely tell you when I will take a special class on respiration. Okay, so for now I'm telling you what is respiration. So it refers to all those processes which are involved in the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we all know that we inhale oxygen. Okay, we inhale oxygen. Whenever we breathe in, we take oxygen. Whenever we breathe out, we give out carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is called respiration. It can be again of two types, that is internal respiration and external respiration. Okay, what is internal respiration? Internal respiration takes place between the cells and the internal environment. Okay, it takes place between the cells and the internal environment. Mark the difference. Okay, of the internal environment of what? Of the body. Okay, so here external respiration takes place between the body and its external environment. So we can differentiate between the internal and external respiration. How? Because internal respiration takes place between the cells and the internal environment of the body. Okay, and external respiration takes place between the body and its external environment. So where does if someone asks you where does internal respiration take place, you will answer in the tissues. Okay, here it is given in the next sentence only. The internal respiration occurs inside the tissues. whereas the external respiration occurs inside the lungs. Okay, so these are very simple points. So respiration means the all those processes which are involved in the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. These are of two types: internal and external respiration. Internal respiration takes place in the tissues, and external respiration takes place in the lungs. Okay, so it is at the tissue level or the cellular level. It is between the body and the external environment. So this completes the respiration. We will give detailed information whenever we will talk about the respiration chapter. We will give detailed information in that. So next is digestion. What does digestion basically mean? It is the process of breaking down from the complex food materials that we take into simpler molecules. So what we take in as food, sorry, so here it is given. I'm sorry, I could not move that. So I'm again telling internal respiration and external respiration. I told you internal respiration occurs at the tissue level and external respiration occurs in the lungs. Okay, this completes my respiration point. Next is digestion. So it is the process of breaking down of the complex food materials into the simpler molecules that can be easily absorbed into the blood and utilized by the body. So digestion basically means the breaking down of the complex or bigger food particles which we take in into simpler ones, so that it gets easily absorbed into the bloodstream and it can be consequently utilized perfectly by the body. So that's what is called digestion. The next point is excretion. Excretion is the process that removes the waste products of digestion and metabolism from the body. I had told you about metabolism in the last class. If you do not know, please refer to that video. Okay, my previous video, please refer to that. Okay, so excretion is the process that removes the waste products of digestion. So what is the waste product of digestion? uh, what All those products which are not being absorbed by the blood. Okay, these are the waste products, and these are very toxic in nature. So these have to be removed outside, so that our body doesn't get um, harmed by this. All right, so through this process our body gets rid of the byproducts that are unable to be used, and which are toxic in nature. Okay, here it is given, and which are toxic in nature. All right, so this completes my chapter today. Okay, so these are the questions, some questions I have written for you. If you want, you can complete these questions. You can just take the screen, pause my video and take the screenshot of it, so that you can complete all these questions and give answers to these questions in my comment section. Okay, all this will be helpful for you. So this completes my chapter. I will take all these detailed points which I described right now: respiration, digestion and excretion. All these processes will be completed in detail whenever I will start the respiration chapter individually, digestion and excretion chapters respectively in individual terms. Okay, so that's how I complete my intro chapter of life processes. I hope you like this video. Please keep supporting me, like, share and subscribe my channel. I will definitely try to do my level best to present you the content with the in the best possible manner. Okay, so I liked your support and love which you gave me in the last video. Just like that, keep supporting me in this video and the subsequent videos which are yet to come. Thank you all for watching. Thanks.